Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the TRR 2020 Championship. Tonight it's round 13. I'm joined in the commentary box by Thilo Falkenberg. Hi Thilo.
Hello Pete.
Hi. Tonight we have two races at Rockingham International Super Sports Car Circuit with the Formula V8 15 lap races tonight. It's going to be a crash fest as usual, but hopefully we get some good racing involved in that as well. Second race will be fully reverse grid based on the results of the first race as per usual. What are we looking forward to about tonight?
So this International Super Sports Car Circuit is the one you might be familiar with from British Touring Car Championship. So it's the nicer infield circuit, as you can bypass the first chicane, which would be very dramatic in these cars, to be honest. And probably the best overtaking opportunity will be into turn 1, into the hairpin after the oval. If you're brave, you can use the infield hairpin as well, but depending on the aero loss you have on the way to that hairpin, it will be a very difficult affair.
Yeah, I agree. I think the choice of not using the first chicane is a good one. It was used earlier in this season and it caused a lot of overtaking, but also a lot of drama which we'd quite like to avoid. So qualifying is about to get underway. We have around about 40 drivers on the server, so another packed grid, which is absolutely great to see. Qualifying is starting, so we will head to the track for the start of the qualifying session as the drivers make their way out onto the grid.
What is a bit unusual is that between the pit garages and the pit lane there is this American-style wall, Rockingham walls, an oval track built into the British landscape. And it actually hosted two kart races. So back in the day, before it was called Champ Car.
Yeah, not to be mistaken by for the go-kart karts. These were single-seaters, but a lot more powerful.
Yeah, they were the fastest single-seaters in the world at the time, actually. They broke the closed-circuit speed record.
And they built this track for the European NASCAR and the kart classes. First car across the line to start their first flying lap will be TRR Ashton, a new face to the league. New people are always welcome here, but Ashton works his way round to start his first flying lap up to the first corner. And then through this very tricky complex of twisty corners with huge anti-cuts, sausage curbs on the inside, which you have to avoid like the plague in this car especially. Then there's this long sweeping left-hander, slightly off camber, so the car wants to be thrown out onto the grass. Heavy braking for Tarzan, goes very deep, cuts back for the exit and past the school pit lane. You can run just over the pit entry there to get a good exit out of the corner. And then we head down to the final little complex, which is this chicane. He gets it all wrong. And then slowly onto the power, back onto the oval section. And across start finish. And Ashton's first time of the day is a 109.36. He's immediately beaten by Gabor.
And also by Upsas, and is now put down the order. Jeban now with the new fastest time, a 107.31. and already the track is very crowded. Rocky now coming through the final chicane. The number 7 car. And into 22nd position, a 1:11.66. Currently there are 27 cars qualified.
Oh, as Rocky spins out in front of a WCL car there and takes them off the track. Not sure who that was, but anyway.
We really have the problem here. You don't know where to look with so many cars on the track and such a short lap. But let's look at Paolo, who's currently at Tarzan, exiting Tarzan slightly oversteering down into the final chicane, and he cuts it and aborts the lap.
We're watching an RTT Poulsen as he comes round to start a lap, but he's been held up by his teammate. Poulsen currently in 11th. So we'll see if he improves on this lap. Apologies for the broadcast. It appears that we cannot downscale from 1080p 60 FPS, so if you're having trouble viewing it, we'll try and sort that out after qualifying. T. Poulsen comes across the line and does not improve, and in fact he's been knocked down to 13th at this point, so he'll go out for another attempt. Currently the top 5 looks like Ziban from TRR, then it's Yes Motorsport Gabor, Yoni Katila from WCL, Road Appraiser Sick, and Yes Motorsport Upsas. TCR Adam just outside the top 5 in P6. Just over 17 minutes to go.
Upsa's just coming onto the start-finish line to start the next attempt. Through the oval and underneath the double white line that would be naughty in real life. Around the first hairpin. And onto the grass and boarding the lap. I wanted to say that there were very many cars left and right and center, and you really have to make a slalom through the field to have a somewhat decent lap at this point in qualifying. So unless you really have luck, I fear that at least the fastest times might already been set. Especially since not everyone is just driving around this track for a fast lap. Some are using the qualifying session as a sort of warm-up. I see Mandula is just entering his 8th lap, so this is definitely not a qualifying setup he's on. Second placed Gabor now into the first hairpin. He's got a decently free lap ahead. The car directly in front of him.
Ooh, Mandula spins out.
Oh yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
Gabor now in this multiple left-hander section in the middle of the infield. Decent split, 41.6 at the second split. Now approaching the final chicane with the biggest sausage curbs around this track. Final left-hander. But he does not improve. Ronnie comes round one more time for a 1 minute 8.40, which is putting him into 18th position. He's the LFS car champion of 2013, so he should know how to drive this car around the track.
You'd hope so. By now.
Plus he's... Oh, and he flips.
"12 minutes left in the session. Top 5: Zeban, Gabor, Adam, Pedro, and Rick Cardle. We're watching MRC Michael. Michael drove a great race at the weekend in the 4 Hours of Aston. Had us all off guard.
But I think today he won't do a two-stop strategy.
I hope he doesn't do a two-stop strategy. That would be suboptimal. Michael's currently 26th in the session as he starts his flying lap. Heavy on the brakes for the first corner. You can miss that first apex slightly as long as you hit the second. It's not too critical. He's coming up against traffic. This won't help him. Yeah, he doesn't want to be in the dirty air through this section. Downforce critical section. He backs off, aborts the lap. He will have to gear up for another one. Got a car spinning in the background.
Oh, and Michael goes wide into Tarzan.
We're watching TRR Ashton. This is his first TRR event as far as I'm aware, and he's currently in 29th. So getting a taste of what this series is all about.
Ooh, and
Has to bail the lap. Yeah. Upsas wide. People struggling with this combo today. It's quite tricky, and the FO8 is a difficult beast to tame. Upsas also aborting his lap, so again, Zeban with very early qualifying pace yet again. Set pole pretty much on his first lap last week, and looks like he has done exactly the same this week. So very, very good showing for the Team Rock Racing driver. We're over halfway through the session. It's a relatively short lap, even though there's plenty to do during the lap. It is only just over a minute long in this car. But there are about 9 or 10 corners. It's kind of hard to count considering one of them is about the best part of a kilometre long. Here comes Upsas. Looked like an outlap, so he'll start another flying lap.
G-Bound so far the only one who could surpass the 107 with a 106.89.
Yeah, very nice lap. Half a second ahead of anybody else. Gabor, the closest driver, in second place. Adam third, Pedro fourth, and his teammate TJ in fifth. Rick's been pushed down to sixth. Unite in seventh. Upsas aborts the lap again. We're watching Adam, currently in third place, as he comes across the line, does not improve. Here is Unite. Unite currently leads the two WCL drivers, Jay Kitilla and J.A. Kitilla, father-son duo, in 8th and 9th.
Which also makes 7, 8 and 9 all a Finnish affair.
So here comes Unite's lap. Takes a nice wide entry out of the last corner to get a good run. On to start-finish. Brushes the ball slightly.
Not too many cars ahead of him. Oh, but Ashton.
Ashton got in the way there. I don't know whether it impeded his lap, probably. We'll see if Unite bails or carries on. May as well finish it. Still got 6 minutes in the session. Plenty of time to get another attempt in if he wants to, as he passes a car waiting to find some free air.
Good split time.
Will this be an improvement? He's got more traffic to deal with. A 1 minute lap with over 30 cars makes it very difficult to find your own space, but Unite's managed it just about. Will it be an improvement? It is. He displaces Adam, so he takes third place away from Adam. Nice lap there from Unite, even though he had to deal with a lot of traffic to get that lap. Someone else is going to have to deal with a lot of traffic is T. Salmon, and look at this, he's got 4 cars ahead of him. One of them moves out the way. Hydro and Tautvidas. Tautvidas moves out the way. Out of the last corner. Really tricky corner to get the power down out of. Across the line. And Salmonen does not improve on that attempt. 17th place for Salmonen at this point.
The midfield is pretty dense. From P12 down to P27, everything within 1 second. Now going into about the final 4 minutes of this session.
We're watching a car from Global Gaming, Tautvidas. As far as I know, this is his first outing in the TRR 2020 Championship as well, as he loses it out of the last corner. I was mentioning how tricky it is to keep the power down, or to get the power down. Tautvidas demonstrating exactly what I was talking about. Here comes Gavin. Gavin, a driver we're very used to seeing at the top, currently in 12th place, so not having a particularly good day just yet. Does not improve on that attempt. Now watching Born to Race reject as he comes up to the final chicane. Currently sits 25th. And the 2 TRR teammates exiting the school straight. Kryn followed by Ashton. Kryn currently in 17th place. And doesn't
Ashton
improve.
in 28th. Does neither improve.
TJ improves to 3rd. Adam has also improved. He has displaced Unite, but both of them have displaced Unite. Zeban and Gabor still safe at the top, but TJ in 3rd, Adam in 4th, Unite in 5th, and Pedro now down to 6th. We're riding with TJ from Road Appraiser in a very nice green and blue skin. He's coming up against traffic though. TRR driver moves out the way. A couple of cars ahead that need to move as well. Got Rick Cardle there. They might be on laps. Ooh. That's not going to help him. That red Ferrari did not
That was
make
Frank.
life easier.
Oh, hitting the sausage and getting very unstable.
Ooh! Nearly doing a Schumacher and rolling it on the sausage curb, but there we are. Has to bail the attempt in the end. See what Rick can do. Rick starts a lap. Rick's in 7th at the moment. For Sidus.
He had a very unfortunate race on Saturday.
Yep. Very uncharacteristic errors, and the whole team with a performance that they would probably like to forget or move on from as fast as possible. Having won the first endurance race, kind of tanked during the second one, and I think they finished outside the top 10 in the end. Maybe just at the bottom of the top 10, but lower down than they'd hoped to have finished.
Especially after qualifying on pole position.
Here comes Rick then. Throws the car away before the start-finish line, so that was interesting. Still 7th for him. Qualifying is over, so we will see who's still on a lap. I think Crin's still on a lap, just about. He's exiting the last corner. Still in 18th place. Doesn't improve.
Salmon coming. Oh, spinning into the oval. And Erotica just avoiding him. But neither can improve.
And I think that is everybody who's on a lap. There is a car approaching the last chicane. It's Magic, who has a very
Who is just an
wobbly
outlap.
exit. Yeah, so that's a warm-up lap. So that is a wrap for qualifying then. Tilo, would you like to run us down the order?
Yes, so in pole position we have got Jaban from Team Rock Racing. And second it's Yes Gabor. Third place for TJ. Fourth for Adam. Fifth, Unite. Sixth, Pedro. Seventh, Rick. Eighth is Sick. Ninth and 10th for the two Katilas from WCL. In 11th position, it's Upsas, followed by Respect. Reject, sorry. Ronnie, G-Pete, Hydro. In 16th, we've got Paulsen, followed by Ayub, Kryn, Paolo, and Salmonen. 21st is Silva, followed by Elmo, Frank, Trespasser, and Classic. 26th for Erotica. Then we've got Ashton, Mandula, Michael, and Soini. In 31st, it's Texas, followed by Mivi, Traudvidas, and Gustash. 35th, it's Ivanov, then Rocky and Magic in last in 37th. So we've got a big grid here and fast cars. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, another great turnout. 37 cars on a 1 minute 6 second lap. Congrats to Zeban for putting it on pole for the second week in a row for Team Rock Racing. Good result for them. And we'll be getting underway just in a few moments for the first of two races, two 15-lap races. The first will be gridded from qualifying. The second will be a fully reversed grid. Just giving the drivers a quick break, and then we will begin race one.
Two real sprint races, 15 laps and 1 minute 6 lap times. That is a quick affair.
Yeah, about 16 or 17 minutes all told. Not a lot of time.
So Pete, if the people out there are watching and think, hey, let's join this championship, what do they have to do?
You can join this championship by having Tuesday evenings free, which if you're watching live, then I'm guessing that you do, or you're just away somewhere. But anyway, you can connect to the TRR1 server, do a few practice laps, see whether you like the combo for the next week, and then sign up on the LFS forum in the Team Rock Racing 2020 Championship subsection. Anyone's welcome, as long as you make it in the top 40 for qualifying. You will start the first race, and the championship runs all year long. There are 50 rounds. We're currently on round 13 of 50, so very early days still. It's been a very entertaining season to watch so far, so if you do fancy yourself in these races, get yourself along next week, and we'll be happy to see you in the 2020 championship that Team Rock Racing have been organising. Just a couple of minutes to go then, and we'll get going for the start of race 1. 37 cars.
Start is going to be very interesting. 37 cars going into turn 1. And this
Here
will
we
happen
go then.
momentarily.
Wow, look at all those cars spreading all the way back around oval turn 4. That's a very long grid, one of the longest I've seen at Rockingham in Live for Speed. Zeban sits alongside Gabor on the front row, who's going to make it into turn 1 first and survive. Here come 15 crazy laps of Rockingham International Super Sports Car Circuit. We're away for race 1 of round 13 of the championship. Zeban with a flying start there, absolutely leaves the pack. Gabor being caught by TJ. TJ on the attack around the outside. Gabor manages to hold it. Adams got alongside TJ though. Bad exit, but so far so good in the back, it has to be said.
Very clean through the first corner.
Very nice driving from everyone up and down the field. Zeban leads Gabor, leads TJ, then it's Adam, Unite, Pedro, Rick, Sick and Upsas, and Catilla. Jay Catilla round out your top 10.
Oh, and someone spinning. Oh, many cars off in the background, including Frank.
This is Ayub.
Magic.
Ayub spins around and crashes into
yeah.
a TRR driver. Yeah, pretty bad rejoin there from Ayub. Zeban rounds the last corner, and one lap is already completed. side by side. Hydro with Elmo across the line, 17th and 18th respectively. Hydro on the outside, small bit of contact. Elmo still holding the inside. Down into the braking zone, decides to... Oh, he's still got a nose in. He's ahead. Can he get the power down on the exit? Still side by side. Hydro now with the advantage on the inside. Elmo has to yield.
But very nice driving, giving each other room to survive.
Yeah, very good driving. We've got Pedro catching up to the back of Unite. He's actually made the move into Tarzan. Unite does maintain the position, but good effort there from Pedro. See if he can get the run out of the chicane. Really difficult to follow a car out onto the oval. You've not got a lot of downforce through that corner anyway, let alone when you're following a car that closely. Unite's all over the rear of Adam.
Chicane.
Yeah.
Someone's exiting the lane. Directly in front of them.
Unite's gone around the outside of Adam into the braking zone. Adam with the nose still in there. Unite forced a little bit wide, but Unite, if he can get the power down, will have the corner. Adam tries to run it around the outside. Still side by side, but Unite will take the place.
No! Still side by side.
Side by side through Chapman. Here comes Piff Paff. And Unite finally gets ahead, but good driving there from Adam to try and just keep the battle alive. Now he's under pressure from Pedro. Rick and Pedro still going at it in the background. Unite's now sizing up the back marker, who has to get out of the way. It's one of the NRT guys, I think it's Silver, registering as having done a pit stop on our tracker here. Adam collides with... Oh, contact. That's Pedro spinning round, and I think Rick's involved in that. There's been a big pile-up at the entry to the chicane. Luckily they get it all sorted out, so that promotes a few people. Adam lucky to get out of there.
Yeah, and Rick down to 18th, spinning while rejoining. Oh, and another crash in the background. The 420 was spun on the oval. And Salmonen was collected in all this affair. Falling now down to 33rd.
Yeah, falling a long way down there. Zeban, meanwhile, has opened up a heck of a gap to TJ, who is being pressured by Yes Motorsports Gabor. Unite, his teammate behind. Adam in 5th still. Upsash 6th. But let's see if Gabor can get anywhere near the back of TJ onto the oval. You have to be so tentative on the throttle, you can hear them barely putting any power down as they're scrabbling for grip. Now here comes Unite. Unite's got the draft of his teammate. Will he be close enough into turn 1 to go for a lunge? Possibly not on this lap, but everyone using the apron. In real life racing at Rockingham, you were allowed to use the apron only on the opening lap. But every lap after that, you were not allowed to put any wheels over the apron line on the oval here. That was a touring car rule, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and in stock car racing, as soon as there is a double white line, you're also not allowed to pass underneath it.
Yeah, so Gabor pushing his luck a little bit, but track limits are enforced during this league, so I wonder whether a race steward will spot that and penalise for any repeated offence. Unite trying to get close, but still struggling. These three are quite close, actually. Barely anything between them when you consider how much downforce they've got running over them. Five laps gone, 10 to go.
Pedro disconnects and...
Yeah, Pedro got collected a little bit at the chicane a couple of laps ago as Gabor cuts the oval once again through turn 1. Does Unite fancy his chances on his teammate as Gabor goes quite wide there? You'd think that Unite has the better chance of catching up to TJ, Adam seems to be dropping off a little bit in the background, so maybe these two could think about swapping places and thinking about the team game here a little bit with 10 laps to go. Gabor not really making any inroads on TJ. Unite with the better line, but Gabor manages to somehow keep it hooked up on the exit, so Unite just needs to focus on his exit from the chicane. Cuts a little bit tighter and gets a good run. Here we go. I have a feeling Gabor lifted out of it. Gabor spectates, so maybe a technical or some other reason. But Gabor retires from the race. So Unite promoted to 3rd place. Adam gets a free 4th. Upsas currently in 5th. Then it's the World Class Lines duo who have swapped positions. Yari leading Yoni. Then rejecting 8th. Roni in 9th. There's a back marker in between. Roni getting very sideways there. Then it's Gavin Pete for Nordic Racing Team. The highest placed NRT driver currently. Clearly those guys not gelling with this track. You can see the side of his car reads, "This car sucks." Which I don't agree with, actually. I think this car's great.
I have to disagree as well.
I think it's just a light-hearted message, but it's hurtful to the FO8. Fantastic car. Next it's Kryn in 11th place. NRT T. Paulson rounding the last corner. Then we've got Erotica for Global Gaming. And Sick for Road Appraiser. As Michael crosses the line to start his 7th lap. There's Elmo down in 16th. Never a dull moment for Elmo in this series, but he does seem to be somewhat on his own at the moment. Then it's Frank in a somewhat battered Ferrari. His front wing is all sorts of crumpled, so that's either been in the wall or into another driver. Then it's Mandula who loses it. Mandula loses the car into the gravel trap. That's going to be stuck there for a little while as he tries to get it free. Ayub manages to get past after his first lap incident. Mandula has managed to get the car going again and rejoins back down in 29th. Meanwhile, he's about to get lapped by Zeban. Zeban coming round the second corner into turn 3 now. A little bit wide. Meanwhile, Unite is trying to close that gap to TJ after his teammate Gabor disconnected or retired for some reason across the start-finish line, handing him the position somewhat. But he didn't really hand it to him, did he, Tilo? He kind of held him up for a few laps and then decided to bail the car for some reason. Very strange.
Yeah, I'm sure what happened there. It was till he pulled the plug.
According to the chat, Gabor had problems with his mouse, so decided to quit. As there's a couple of drivers moving out of the way, got a TRR driver moving out of the way. Got cars down pit lane as well.
Ashton
goes down the pits. And is waiting at the end of pits for some reason. I don't know why that's happening. Zeban, 6 laps to go for him.
In a pit stall.
Ah, okay, so he's made a pit stop. A very, very late pit box that he chose there.
Yeah, it's the last one.
Unite's not really making any inroads into TJ, but TJ did get held up quite a bit there by a back marker.
Yeah, that's Ivanov who spins out
into Tarzan. He's going to be caught in the gravel and have to try and get that car free. Yeah, you can see the dirt being kicked up in the background. That car's going to be stuck there for a while. These gravel traps at Rockingham are extremely effective. 5 laps to go then. Let's run you down the order. We've got Zeban out front. He's leading TJ by quite a considerable distance. Then it's Unite and Upsas. Then it's the Catilla duo. Yari Catilla's doing really well here. He's actually catching up to Yes Upsas. Clearly gelling very well with the FO8. I reckon there'll be a move on here at some point. Upsas is struggling, maybe with tyres. We'll keep an eye on this battle and see if JA Catilla can have a move. If Catilla gets past, I think this will be his highest finish in the series so far. In race 1 at least. I think this already is his highest finish. Currently in 5th. Upsas really leaving a lot of skid marks on the ground trying to get the power down. JA Catilla with a very, very smooth exit, so you can kind of see who's looking after their tyres more, and that's possibly why JA Catilla's managed to close the gap. He does go quite wide out of the corner, so not going to have the advantage he needs onto the oval. Yeah, huge gap opened up now, so that battle's somewhat neutralised. Yoni not really able to make many inroads on his teammate. Reject comes down to turn 2, followed very closely by Gavin Pete. This is the battle for 7th. Very sideways there for Reject. Gavin closes up, but now will have the dirty air through the high downforce section of the track. See the cars dancing around as they try and get the power down. I wonder how much of the lap is actually full throttle. I can't remember myself, but not a lot of it, except the oval. Very deep on the brakes.
Rockingham is one of the slowest tracks.
Gavin touches the back maybe. It's very late on the brakes. Got all out of shape in the braking zone there.
Upsas and Catilla now held up by Magic and he leaves room to let them pass. So does Magic now. But Magic returns between the battling two. But Upsas couldn't really profit from it. In fact, Catilla is now really close.
Yeah, and Yoni's waiting there as well. Yoni will be able to make the most of this. He goes deep. Yoni Catilla goes very deep. He's going to try and get a run on both of them here. Yeah, Yoni's going to be side by side, or just about. Nope. But it's all bunching up now. This is the battle for 3rd place. Upsas leads the trio out onto the home straight once again for the penultimate. Well, to begin the penultimate lap. 13 laps done, 2 to go. As Yoni Catilla makes the move and makes the move before turn 2. Yari's coming back at him though, a big dive. Nice to see that the teammates aren't afraid to get their elbows out, but you can't help but thinking if they tried to work together and targeted Upsas.
Oh, Ashton!
Ashton gets in the way of Upsas.
And he's now beached.
This battle's still bunched up. Yoni not able to keep the position ahead of Yari, and now Yari gets another chance to have a bite at Upsas. We've got an NRT car stuck in the gravel as well. That's Salmonen. Salmonen's beached. That he's not going to get that out of there in a hurry. Let's return to this battle. This really is closing up between the Catillas. Yari with the run this time. Yep. Just about. No, I don't think he's. I don't think he's close enough. Upsas takes all of the apron.
And Upsas had the way better exit into the oval.
Certainly did.
So far, the Catillas are approaching in the infield as the Upsas manages to get away.
Yeah, Upsas, more traffic. Ooh, the traffic is not kind to Upsas there. Really did not move out of the way effectively at all. Moves out of the way for everybody else. Upsas must be getting very angry. Ooh! Oh, the lapsed traffic just about spectates in time, but almost wiped both of them out there. That was so close to being a disaster. Congrats to Zeban and Unite. But we're watching this battle for third as Upsas comes out of the last corner. He will take third place, followed by Yari Katilla, Yoni Katilla, and very, very close TJ behind. Then it's Gavin Pete, followed by Born to Race Reject. TRR Kryn, Team Rock Racing, exits the last chicane. And we'll cross start finish in 9th. Then it's MRC Michael very close behind with Global Gaming Erotica, followed by Roda Praiser Sick, very close finish there. Elmo crosses the line next. And we'll run down the full order in just a moment. A little bit chaotic, but
down the order quite significantly.
Yeah, he must have had some trouble somewhere along the line.
Pretty, not pretty. What I wanted to say. It was a hectic affair, especially as soon as, lapping began.
Definitely. But it does make me wonder how this second race goes, or will go.
Yeah, especially since it's a complete reversed grid. I mean, Texas is now finished 33rd. But he finished 33rd with 11 laps down.
Yeah, so we will take a short break here, and we will be back for the start of race 2 very shortly. Do you want to run us down the order of the finishes from that race, Tilo?
So, the winner of race 1 of 2 today is G-Ban, followed by Unite and Upsas. Then in 4th and 5th, we've got Yari and Yoni Katila. 6th place, TJ. 7th, Gavin Pete. 8th, Reject. 9th, Kryn. And 10th, Michael, with a very quiet race. In 11th position, it's Erotica, followed by Sick, Elmo, Paulsen, and Ronnie. In 16th position, the Ferrari driver Frank. Then Adam, Hydro, Ayub, and Ricardo. In 21st position, it's Classic of TRR, followed by Trespasser, Soini, Mandula, Trautvidias, Gustash, Paulo, Magic, and Rocky. 30th place goes to Silva, then Ashton and Ivanov, both of TRR, and in 33rd, also of TRR, it's Texas. However, Texas finished 11 laps down. Probably just waited for the second race in the pit lane.
Thanks very much for that. So we will see who gets pole after all of the shuffling happens. I have to say that the back markers didn't do as good of a job as I'd like to have seen. I know that it's a thin track and it's hard to get out of the way, but there is no excuse for getting in the way of other drivers. There is enough oval and there's enough places to move to the side. So would like to see drivers being a bit more careful with the lapping, but otherwise it was a fairly good race at the front. Most of the people at the front started where they finished where they started rather, and we'll see how race 2 goes when the fast guys are starting at the back and the slower drivers are starting at the front.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not too sure how this is going to end up.
That's the beautiful thing about reverse grid races. Unfortunately, I haven't been provided with the championship standings for this round, so we cannot have an update on where everyone sits, but hopefully we will have the updated championship standings before the next round, so that I can bring you the drivers and teams championship standings before we get going for round 14.
Yeah, but I would imagine that WCL and also Yes are making quite some good points here, at least in the first race for the team's championship.
Yeah, TRR have got a lot of work to do in the teams championship, but recently with Zeban's performances, he is really carrying that team, and I am looking forward to seeing the team standings when they come out, because I reckon TRR are going to have closed the gap to Yes Motorsport and NRT at the front. NRT definitely not doing as well in the last 2 rounds, and we'll see how they get on next week, because next week's combination is Fernbay Gold in the FXO, so possibly a combination that will suit the NRT team more so than the last couple of rounds. We will see. But anyway, back to today. We're just about to get going for the second race of 2. A reverse grid race at Rockingham International Superspeed Sports Car Circuit with the Formula V8. 15 laps, around about 16 minutes of racing. And it's going to be crazy.
So they say it's 2 minutes until race 2 starts. And also that Texas, who finished 11 laps down, he rejoined the race, so he will not be awarded this pole position for round 2, if I understood correctly. Which leaves Ivanov from Ashton, Silva, Rocky, and Magic as the top 6. Top 5. But I guess we will see what is happening in the next couple of minutes. And the race is restarting. Ivanov on pole from Ashton, Silver, Joe Lover, Magic, and Paolo. Your top 6.
Here we go then. 3 TRR drivers on the front 2 rows. Silver's in there also after his unfortunate first race. Away we go. A little bit of wobbliness in the background. 3 wide already into turn 1. Silver's taking the lead early. Contact. TRR driver into the back of Silver there as Paolo makes it up into 3rd place. Roney getting a little bit out of shape in the background as Ashton goes off onto the grass. Ivanov also onto the grass. Here comes Rick Cardle up to 4th place. T. Paulson up to 5th now also. Then it's Classic and Mandula. Let's head back to the front. Silver is getting away a little bit here, followed by Paolo, and then there's a whole scrabble behind. Rocky somehow appeared in the top 3 now. Then it's Paulson as Rick goes for a dive into Tarzan. Contact. Paulson shut the door on him. 3 wide. Contact between
Classic
Rick
was on
and
the
Classic.
outside.
Yep. Classic spears back across the track in front of Adam as one of the polystyrene signs bounces across the track. Classic needs to be careful with the rejoin here. Yeah, it rejoins safely. Got 3 wide in the background here. Trespasser, Unite, and his Magic's involved. TJ on the low side.
Unite with the run due to Erotica's slipstream.
Ooh. Upsas forcing Trespasser very wide there. Actually makes the move. Upsas into the back of his teammate Unite. It's 3 wide, 2 wide in the background as Upsas gets forced down behind Magic now. Upsas losing places left, right and centre. Upsas alongside... Sorry, not Upsas, that's Trespasser we were on board with a second ago. He's now being followed by Zeban, who from the back has made it up to 15th place in 2 laps, less than 2 laps. So yet again, great driving from Zeban at the beginning of the second race. How many places can he make up today? Then it's J.A. Catilla who's had a very good start as well. We've got a big train of cars, Gustash, Michael, Elmo, Sick. Paolo still leads from Silver and T. Paulson. Rick side by side.
Is now he bump drafted with Trespasser to overtake Magic and now goes to the inside of Trespasser and takes the position easily, so he's now up into 13th.
Thirteenth place for Duvan. Ahead of him, Upsas and Unite from Yes Motorsport. How long will it be before G-Ban gets up to there? TJ alongside Erotica. No contact, but TJ spun around a little bit on the exit, and that's given Unite a bit of a run. Weirdly, I have to say that the start of race 2 has been cleaner than the start of race 1. Maybe people are a little bit more experienced. Maybe that race experience is what they needed.
Yeah, probably.
Silver's closed up to the back of Paolo. As Paolo spins out of the lead and manages to do a very nice save to get the car pointing back in the right direction, and only loses 2 places from that. Impressive. He's under pressure now from Rick Cardle. Sidus NRT Silver leads T. Paulson from Pedro. Then it's Rick and Adam in 5th place. Adam, after being right at the front of the last race, gets another shot, another bite of the cherry. in this race. Hopefully he can keep it clean and won't get collected in any accidents and can get a good result in race 2. Lots of cars back here. We've got Mandula followed by Rocky, and then Ayub side by side with Erotica. TJ in the background going for a move into the braking zone for the chicane. He gets it done, but then gets tagged by Erotica, and there's a couple of Yes Motorsport drivers trying to make the most of that. Trespasser gets forced out wide.
That was Upsas.
Upsas forced out wide, yeah. Trespasser side by side with him now. Zeban's up to 11th as he just gets past TJ. Now he's going to send it on Erotica. That's going to be the move for 10th place. Erotica manages to cut back in front. TJ all out of sorts in the background. Really not able to control the power of the FO8 out of turn 2.
And Paolo is off.
Paolo dropping down the order then. Outside the top 15 from the lead of this race.
And Paolo retires. Michael took the wrong route. So he must have been off somewhere.
Meanwhile, Unite's sizing up Rocky. And Zeban's waiting in the wings to make the most of all of this unfolding. Zeban pit manoeuvres Erotica out of the last corner. Erotica in the wall, has to rejoin. So Zeban spooked by the lack of pace of Erotica out of the last corner and just tags him a little bit as Rocky and Unite are still squabbling. Rocky kind of moves out the way of Unite there and opens the door a little bit for his teammate Zeban. So Zeban up to 8th position now then. Within 5 laps he's made it from the back of the grid to 8th place, and now next on his menu is Unite. Now it's Upsas's turn to try and get past Rocky. Rocky in the blue car, Upsas in the grey car with the shark teeth. Upsas has pressure from behind now from TJ. Upsas going around the outside of Rocky, or at least trying to. Contact. TJ is going to make the most of it. Side by side. TJ with Rocky's draft. He's going to have to be careful on the brakes.
Upsas on the inside.
TJ was forced onto the grass there. Contact with Erotica now. But Upsas makes the move eventually. Rocky now under threat from Trespasser. Battle for 10th place. Trespasser gets the move done. Will Rocky have any comeback? He is on the inside. But ultimately Trespasser with enough overlap to take the corner as TJ yet more trouble in turn 2. More trouble indeed for Catilla as well. TJ calls it a day. Bails the car. J.A. Catilla rejoins next to Yoni Catilla.
Yep.
Immediately under threat from Gavin Pete. Side by side they go. Nice move around the outside by Gavin. Now Catilla has Gustas for company. As Frank has to move out of the way of Crin there. Side by side, Gustas and Crin. Crin on the outside. Keeps it ahead.
Meanwhile, Jiban just overtaking Ayub into 6th position.
Into turn 2.
And Zeban somewhere also overtook Unite. Unite still behind Ayub.
Silva still out front. Then there's a back marker, and then there's T. Paulson, his teammate. Then it's very close between Rick Cardle and Adam. Adam's made it up to 4th place. So Adam is sniffing a podium. But can he take it away from Rick? Adam is no stranger to the podium in the 2020 Championship. Rick has been a bit unlucky in some of these races, but is also no stranger to the top positions. Mandula now up to 5th, and Ziban closing in behind. There's a back marker between those two. But with only 7 laps to go, we're just over halfway through, and time's running out for Ziban to try and catch up to the front. Never discount him though, he's absolutely rapid in this car today. Silver a bit wide out of the hairpin, out of the Tarzan hairpin, and then it's all bunched up. We've got battle from 2nd down to 3rd now. T. Paulson leads Rick Cardle from Sidus, and then TCR Adam brings up the rear as all 3 of them head out onto the oval again to start lap 8.
Paulson there with a wobbly exit, but enough momentum.
Adam's gone for a move.
Yeah, and Adam is in the slipstream of Paulson.
Side by side into turn 2. Adam leaves the space. Rick all out of shape, and Adam gets the place. Really nice move. Adam up to the podium position, and now bears down on the back of T. Paulson. Adam's not done. He wants 2nd place.
Yellow flag ahead.
Yeah, I heard a car off. It's Ayub, or one of the B2R drivers. It could be Reject.
Reject. Adam keeping up with Paulson there.
Yeah, this is still a very close battle. Rick hasn't been dropped. He's still there. He could quite easily wait for a mistake in the 5 laps that remain and try and pick off a place, because Adam will have to attempt this overtake at some point. Maybe into the braking zone here if he's close enough. Adam takes to the apron. Won't be close enough to make the move this lap. This will allow Rick to bunch back up again. Bit of a concertina effect happening. Nice driving from these 3 though. And indeed Silver out front. Ziban's closed up to Mandula, so the battle will be on for 5th place very shortly, no doubt.
He had a bit of trouble following Mandula through Piff Path. But now he is in the gearbox.
Yeah, we'll stay with this battle for now. We'll check back to see what's happening at the front. After Ziban dispatches with Mandula, it's only a matter of time. Here he comes. Out of the slipstream and cross start finish. 4 laps to go, and he's up to 5th place from the back of the grid. Mandula may have a response. Goes to the outside. Ziban on the inside and makes the place stick. So another place for Ziban
In
there.
front, Adam on the outside of Paulson into Piff Path. There's a yellow flag and a car in the middle, and Adam gets 2nd position.
Really nice move. Just managed to cut back in time. Paulson runs wide. Rick's going to have a go. Wow, Paulson was caught out. He'd been leading for so long from these 3 that he'd forgotten that he couldn't be so close to the car behind, and got caught out in the dirty air, went deep, and then Rick took full advantage of it and moves up to 3rd place. So in the space of 2 corners, Paulson's gone from 2nd to 4th. He's gone off the podium, and Adam's opened up a comfortable lead over Rick now. So he just needs to keep his head down and extend that gap, and it will be 2nd place for him. Silver, you have to say, is a little bit too far ahead unless something comes across him. He has 3 laps to go. He's leading by about 5 seconds.
7 even.
7 seconds.
I think Adam is a lap faster, to be honest.
But in 3 laps, can Adam close that gap up? It's a big gap to close. Adam's been battling for the whole race pretty much. Will his tyres be there when he needs them? Rick's still not done with Adam, you have to say. Rick is tightening the screws.
Yeah, and Zeban is now also approaching this group.
Wow, Rick Zeban's really closed the gap. So while these guys have been fighting, Zeban's closed up and it's 2 laps to go. Can Zeban get past Poulsen and catch up to Rick Cardle in just over 2 minutes?
Fastest lap by Zeban, a 1:07.97. So he's the only one able to go below the 1 minute 8
Adam
second
spun
mark.
out. He's lost
Oh!
it. He's in the wall. That's a big crash. He's going to bail the car. No, he's going to try and carry on. So Zeban could be on for a podium if he can get past Thomas Poulsen.
Adam rejoins into 8th position.
So another race that goes down the toilet for TCR, and Adam, very unlucky, but dropped the car out of turn 2. Maybe got a bit of grass. Or too busy looking in his mirrors.
Zeban now in the gearbox of Poulsen. Poulsen with a mistake. And into the final chicane.
Still side by side.
To the inside.
Ooh, very close. Poulsen leaves him enough room and Zeban's up to the podium. Goes very defensive. He doesn't want Poulsen to come back at him. We're on the last lap and Zeban's made it up to the podium position. 3rd place. Absolutely mega drive from the TRR driver. Winning the first race, and unless anything happens to him, he will claim a podium in race 2.
Yeah, and Rick is just 2 seconds ahead, and Zeban was 2 seconds a lap faster than these guys in front.
Let's see. I think it's going to be too much to ask, but we will see. Zeban, unquestionably the driver of the day.
But Silver's now in the final chicane. Final left-hander onto the start-finish straight. And he will win the 2nd round of today.
Congrats to Silver, winner of race 2. Rick keeps his 2nd place ahead of Zeban, who came from the back to claim P3. Thomas Poulsen 4th. Mandula comes across the line in 5th, with Unite closely followed in 6th. Then it's Ayub in 7th. TCR Adam, after his accident, finishes 8th. Then it's Trespasser and Upsas in 9th and 10th. Erotica will finish 11th. Jay Catilla 12th. Gavin Pete closely in 13th. J.A. Catilla 14th. Kryn will be 15th.
Magic now coming into 16th, sorry. Followed by Rocky. Elmo into 18th. Soini 19th. Minth 20th. Gustash 21st.
Ronnie with a pit stop at some point during this race, so another race that didn't go his way.
Yeah, but he finishes in 22nd position. Leaving Frank and Ivanov in.
I'm sorry, we appear to have lost Tilo. So yeah, anyway, I will finish off running down the order then of race 2. Frank finishes 23rd, ahead of Ivanov in 24th, Reject 25th, Classic from TRR in 26th, and Global Gaming Talvidas in 27th. MRC Michael brings up the rear in 28th position. We will hang around for a few moments to see whether any of the drivers want an interview from this race. Let's talk very quickly to Silver. Congratulations, Silver, on winning the second race. Very nice drive.
Yeah.
You pretty much had it wrapped up from the first corner of the oval. From the start, in fact, you got a very nice start and managed to jump ahead of the TRR guys.
Yeah, when race 1 doesn't go as you want to, then you're for sure gonna do what you need to win the second race. But it's still not the perfect race, and we still need to focus on where we can improve and where we can try to gain some speed, because someone is crazy fast and we need to practice a lot more. I woke up 1 minute before the race and just head over to the fucking LFS. So yeah, kind of not the best way, but yeah, best possible way.
Fair enough. Well, congratulations on your win. Possibly not a round you're expecting to win. Your skin has "This car sucks" written on the side of it, so potentially next week's combo.
No, that's my teammate, not me.
You don't have that written. Okay, so you've not
No,
used. You've not
it's Salmon
decided
and
to.
Gavin.
Fair enough. Yeah, only Gavin has that on the side of his car. Fair enough. So FXO at Fern Bay Gold next week. FE3. How do you think you'll fare at that combination?
Like the only times I've been doing this is kind of rally-ish things. I know Gavin is fast on it with on rally, but I don't know if it's fast on asphalt. But we will see. We have driven this car before. We haven't driven the combo, but we just need to practice a lot, and then we can see if the speed is there.
Brilliant. Well, let's drag in your teammate and see what he has to say. Hi, Salmonen.
Hi.
How was your event? You finished this race. You didn't finish this race. In fact, you DNF'd this race by the looks of it.
I didn't finish neither races. So.
Oh no! So not the day you were hoping for.
No, I got taken out first by Classic in the first race, and he apologized to me already, and then by my teammate Kevin beat because of lag. So.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Good.
It's not great. Are you looking forward to Fern Bay Gold next week in the FXO?
Yeah, that should be better for me at least.
Great. Well, hope to see you both there. Let's have a quick word with Kryn. Hi, Kryn.
Hi.
You finished this race in 15th place. Similar position in the first race, if I'm not mistaken.
The first race I finished 9th.
9th, okay, fair enough. So a good finish for the first race.
Yes.
How would you sum up today?
I really enjoyed this. This was really fun to race in. I like this car a lot. This track is a bit dodgy, but it makes it actually a lot of fun to drive this.
Yeah, there's lots of trouble
complaining about
getting the power down.
Yeah. Yes, I really enjoyed this. It was so much fun.
Me and Tilo were saying that we thought that the second race was quite a lot cleaner than the first race, even though normally it's the other way around. Normally the second race is a lot more chaotic, but actually the second race seemed to go a lot better than the first race for most.
Yeah, no, it was really fun. I had a really good first lap in race 2, and then spun, so I had to work back again. So still finished 15, which was really happy about. I think I took out Jacatilla there, so apologies, but I spun, I couldn't do much. And for race 1, I was battling the entire race. Probably had the best overtake I've ever had in this game on the last lap of race 1. Just all around really fun. I really like this combo. It seems crazy when you first start driving it and you go, why are we driving this? And then you start racing on it and then you go, oh, this is why, because it's really fun. And really rewards being aggressive on the throttle if you can get the power down correct.
Yeah, the FO8 notoriously difficult to get the power down on. Are you looking forward to Fern Bay Gold in the FXO?
I really like the track. I am terrible in in all TBO cars, but especially FXO, so not really from a driving point of view, but yeah, it should actually be a decent combo to race, even though I don't like that car, but we'll see how it goes.
Fair enough, thank you for that. Let's talk to your teammate Rocky. We'll also drag in Classic. Hi, you two. Hello, Rocky and Classic. How did you both find that round?
Well, I know Classic's answer will probably involve a lot of swearing. My answer is I thoroughly enjoyed it. The second race I managed to hold on to become 16th, which I never expected to even be able to. But actually 17, I should say, with all the few practice I had. So yeah, I enjoyed it actually. And sadly, there was also a lot of incidents which weren't needed, I think. But that's up to the stewards to look after now. But I did thoroughly enjoy the race, and of course, my lovely Ziban won the first race amazingly and nearly did it again in the second race. So yeah, I'm really proud of him and thankful to him for driving as fast, you know. So as both a team owner, also for Quinn, you know, he did really well in both races. So I'm happy.
Very nice to hear. Classic. Apparently, you're going to do a lot of swearing.
No, just all I'm gonna say is I didn't like. It was very difficult since yeah, I got taken out in the first lap. I had a pretty good pretty good start and everything, but yeah, it happens, I guess.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
We'll hear from your teammate now. I believe this was Ashton's first race in the championship. Am I wrong?
You are correct.
How did you find your inaugural 2020 championship race?
It was a kind of a bad week to start out with it being like a narrow track with very fast cars and all this. Race 1, I was doing fine. I qualified pretty poorly. I got my way up kind of to 25th, and then they wrecked in front of me. We kind of got going again. And then out of the long sweeper, I kind of got taken out by both number 420s, and that's just how that one went. And yeah, that's how that one went. Second race, I found myself starting in second. It was good up until going into turn 3. I was in second. Wasn't expecting Silva to brake so early, honestly, and it was either go into his back bumper and take him out or take myself out into the grass, and I decided to take that route. And that's how my races went, finishing 33rd and then DNFing. Just not really a great first week for me. It's great to possibly be getting onto a team. It's not how I wanted to impress the owner, though. Not like that. I mean, it just wasn't really a good week for me.
Well, hopefully you can do a bit of practice on Fern Bay Gold in the FXO for next week and try your luck there and see if you have any better luck.
FXO? Which car is that?
Right,
I know the FO8.
someone needs to go and do some practice, I think. If you don't even know what the car is, that's great. Let's chat to Elmo really briefly. Hi Elmo, welcome to the party.
Hello.
How was your 2 races? You kind of finished in the same place in both.
Yeah, first race was fun aside from some back markers. Second race, lap 1, I got hit by 4 or 5 cars while already off the track. So my car was knackered from the first lap.
How?
Business as usual for
I
Elmo,
went
ladies
slightly
and gentlemen.
wide, and then everybody else went wide at full speed into me.
Yeah,
We should start
a
a bet. When is Elmo going to have a break in the TRR 2020 Championship?
Never, not happening.
Never.
Yeah, not at this
It's
rate.
tradition at this
Well,
point.
I have some good
$100
news for you,
sir.
Mr. Elmo.
He never
because
uses his brakes anyway.
The next race is the FXO at FE3, a car I know you are a fan of.
As long as the track isn't too sweeping, yes.
It's FE3.
We shall see.
It's quite sweeping.
Yeah, it should
That's
be.
as
Yeah, it should
sweeping
be.
as
Right.
we get.
It's not ridiculously fast though. It should be alright.
No, it should be okay. All right, that's just about everything we've got time for. Thank you for joining me, Salmon and Silver, Ashton, Rocky, Classic, Elmo, Kryn, and last but not least, thank you, Tilo, for joining me for the stream.
It was a pleasure.
USA! USA!
And on that note, join us next week for round 14 of the TRR 2020 Championship. I've been TCP. If you enjoyed this, please consider following the channel. See you next week. Goodbye.
Subscribe